Welcome to this week's featured guest on Between the Bytes. We have a special guest with us, Kerry Brown. How you doing, Kerry?
Good. How are you?
Welcome. Yeah, I'm doing good. Kerry, we wanted to ask you a little bit about what you do at Executech. We understand it's fairly technical. You're known as one of the smart guys on the block. Tell us a little bit more about what you do here.
Well, I think I get pulled into the really hard stuff. Yeah, I'm someone that the guys reach out to help with problems they're having. A lot of networking stuff.
Networking, okay.
Yep. But it varies so much. So, but yeah, I get pulled into a lot of that.
So you're some of the big brains that make hard things happen.
Maybe.
I understand you're kind of a Linux guy.
Yeah.
Is that a lot of what you do here?
It was when I started, but not so much anymore. Yeah.
Okay.
It's, again, a little bit of everything. So there's, I have a client that is mostly Linux, so that's pretty much where I deal with Linux.
Gotcha.
And then a lot of networking. Again, but it's just, that seems to be the thing we struggle with. So.
What is a trend you're seeing? Is there a frequent problem you're seeing, and is there something businesses could do to sort of either prevent it or easily fix it?
Design your networks properly at the get-go. Some people seem to, I'm not sure where it is in the organization, but when designing your network, a lot of people tend to overdo it. And that causes more problems down the line in the future when you need to, say, add another building and add some more space. A lot of times that requires us to go through and redo pretty much everything you've had there. Redo IP addresses and things like that. So
keeping it simple.
Keeping it simple and planning for the future.
Awesome.
So, yeah.
That's great advice for anything, I think.
Yeah.
Really quickly, I wanted to ask you about Linux. On Between the Bytes, we're not as smart as your average nerd. And we wanted to help our viewers understand, because I'm sure Linux gets kicked around a lot. It's been around for forever, decades.
Yeah.
But what is a high overview of Linux, and what does it do for businesses?
Linux, just think about it as another operating system. It's the nerdy version of Windows for geeks. That's effectively what it is. What it does for businesses, I think when you're thinking scalability and maybe you're hosting servers and you're hosting some of these open source programs that people use, like Salesforce, things like that. A lot of that is open source software that was developed for people to use with Linux. It's not a requirement, but it's the back end was developed on Linux. So when you host them, you're hosting them on a Linux server, things like that. And I think that's where that sort of excels. So, I mean, for the Windows people, that's like hosting your website with IIS, or Windows is that's their built-in web server. So if that makes sense.
Another piece of the pie there. Gotcha. And Kerry, last of all, we like to ask, what are some books or podcasts, movies? What are you into right now? What are you watching or enjoying?
What am I into right now? I am currently, I got a zither.
A zither?
Yes.
What is that?
It's a lap harp. That's the technical term for it. And so I've been experimenting with that. That's currently what I'm into. I like weird instruments and I'm collecting them and things. So that's what.
Well, we're going to have you back for a demonstration. Yeah. Practice up and get ready for a musical number. That's awesome.
Yeah, that's pretty random.
So, Kerry, the last thing, as one of our special guests, we understand that you have a pretty interesting hobby.
Yeah.
And we'd like to go and have you demonstrate that hobby. I understand you are quite a drone fanatic.
Yes, I am.
Okay, so we're going to go outside and we're going to check out some of your drones, and we appreciate having you come.
Yeah, no problem.
Okay, thanks. All right, Kerry, so talk to us a little bit about what we're looking at here.
Yeah, so this is what I fly the most. It's Vortex 250. I fly that with a GoPro Session 5 attached to the top. I like my tri-blade props. That's my favorite. And so usually, this is probably above, but I fly with FreeSky equipment. That's my controller, so I have a bigger controller than I usually fly with, but for the summer, I swapped it out with this weird little guy that just I can toss in my backpack and just go whenever I want to fly. Makes things pretty simple. Goggles. These are what I fly with. Put these on my face, and I can see what the second camera, this is the actual camera I fly with. So we record in HD with the GoPro, and I view what this is doing with the second CCD camera with these goggles. And then for passengers, if people come along, kids come along, anyone wants to see, I keep a second spare set with me so someone can toss it on. It's a great way to introduce people to the hobby. And then I keep a monitor again. Sometimes there are people that come by that don't like the goggles, and so I toss on I let them use the little monitor that I have, and they're good to go. Batteries, that's another important thing. So I fly 4-cell 1300 milliamp hour batteries, a bunch in here. Yeah, that's about it for gear. The rest is screwdrivers and parts and things to make my life easier when I crash. So.
Tell us a little bit about the flying specs of your drone. Speed, length, height, all that.
So by law, we're only allowed to fly to 400 feet. So that's as high as I can go, is 400 feet. As far as distance, things like that, with this smaller receiver, it's probably only about 1,000 feet around myself. And actually, with this configuration, I lose the RC signal before I lose the video signal, which is weird, but yeah, and as far as top speed goes, probably 75 miles an hour,
wow.
Maybe. Just with this configuration, so they go a lot faster than that, but...
And are you also a racer?
I do race.
Are you considered a professional racer?
No.
Where does one go to watch races, drone races?
There are some, there's the Utah model port that's by the airport. You can, there's a racetrack in Springville. So it's just getting involved with those groups on Facebook and figuring out when they're doing stuff.
Awesome. All right, let's check out these things in flight.
Yeah.